What's up, guys? It's Justin the Diabetic here, and here's week 21 with the 770G. So, as most people have been asking on social media pages, is there any real benefit to the 770G? So we're going to dive into that in pretty detail this week and kind of compare what were my reports looking like as far as insulin usage and stuff at the beginning of December once I started the 770G versus now mid-May. Let's see the changes that I've made. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so I wanted to look at and kind of explain to you guys how the 770G has been working for me. I have been working very hard though at reducing my total daily insulin usage. Been doing that now for a couple months. So I wanted to kind of walk you through how the 770G has kind of been adapting to my changes. So to do that, I'm going to look at a day in December. I believe it's like 5 days after I started the 770G. This is December the 14th for me. This particular day was 84% time in range. 16% of that was between 200 and 250. And I used 209.5 units of insulin that day. My total basal was 51% of my delivery, and it was 107 units. And then my bolus was 49% at 102.5 units. On this particular day, my pump logged almost 400 grams of carbs for me eating. So if you guys have been following the channel, since I started on the 770G in December, after the beginning of this year, around February, March, I started to try to really work hard on reducing total insulin usage, eating better, watching what I eat, stuff like that, just not a whole bunch of junk food. So from looking at that data I just explained from December, let's hop on over to May 17th. Which was Monday of this week. On this particular day, I was in range 92% of the time. 8% was between 200 and 250, or 180 and 250, excuse me. That's the high threshold, my bad. But looking at the graph of the data, it doesn't look like I went over 200. So just a brief period of time between 180 and 200. Total insulin delivery on this day was 110 units, 0.3. The total basal was 85% at 93.8 units, and 15% of that was 16.4 units of my boluses. Sorry, the pharmacy's telling me I have a prescription ready. So just to kind of show you guys, I did update take the next step up in my diet. That stuff is being documented for you guys and will come later in a different video. But on Tuesday of this week, just in case you were wondering if it was a one-off, I used 107.8 units of insulin. 87% was basal. It's 93.4 units. And then total bolus was 13% at 14.4 units. This particular day was 93% in range with 7% between 180 and about like 210. I went over 200 just for a little bit there. Moving on, as the days progress, my pump kind of gets adjusted to this diet. It's kind of interesting, the data. So on Wednesday, which was day 3 for me of the diet, I used 98 units of insulin. 85.3 were my basals and 12.7 were my boluses, with 98% in range and 2% between 180 and 200. I very rarely went or didn't hardly go over 180 there. So yesterday, another interesting day. Oh, it doesn't have complete data for me because my pump synced before the night was over. So my bad. I'll go over what I've got, or I'll get it from my pump. So time within range for Thursday was 97%, and 3% was actually in the low range. So let me click on my pump here to history, summary, 1 day, and see what our insulin was for yesterday. Yesterday was a total of 82.675 units with 77.875 units, or 94% basal, and 4.8 units, 6% as bolus. So there's that information. If you guys want to read it backwards, I didn't make it up. It's there for you. So I am impressed with how in just this short 3 or 4 day period of times, you guys, with that data that I just read off to you, can see how the pump is adjusting. It's getting used to me not eating as much, and it did cause that one low. However, it wasn't really significant for me. I just had a little bit of fruit, brought my sugar up, no big deal. But the pump is doing an amazing job at adjusting. I truly am enjoying the overall performance or the processing speed of the 770. I think that in itself is a tremendous upgrade. I know everybody's trying to think, or they want to know, how many alarms did I get? Let me tell you. So yesterday I did do a sensor change. So some of these are because of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 alarms yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 alarms on Wednesday, the day before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 alarms on Tuesday, but there was a set change in there. So some of those alarms are for low reservoir. And then Monday had more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Monday had 15. And Monday I was over my high threshold in the pump for a few days. I did change that just a little bit. So that's why the alarms kind of dwindled off. But as far as alarms are going on the 770, I'm only getting the alarms that I want. I have my, what's it called? Options. I have the, I'm trying to think of what this is called. I have the auto mode BG alert turned off. So basically, if I guess the pump wants a blood glucose value, I just keep a check on it, and I'll see my shield turn gray, and then I'll just do that then. That way I'm not getting any extra alerts. It's not necessarily the end of the world for me. So I don't do that. I did raise my high threshold from 150 up to 180. Since I am doing this diet, I am comfortable with my sugar being above 150. So that's why the alarms did change. My low threshold, I believe, is set at 60. With the alert before low typically happens in the 70 range. So that's how my alerts are set up. I don't get too many. It's basically, hey, you need to calibrate, or you're low on insulin. Okay, now you have no insulin, and now your reservoir is empty. Those are the alerts I typically get, which for me are justified because they're alerts that the user should get. I'm not getting overwhelmed with minimum insulin delivery and stuff like that. I think that might be because I have the auto mode BG alert turned off. But because that too, I'm not getting anything crazy. Like last night, I slept all throughout the night and didn't have a single alarm. I went to bed at about a little after 10 p.m. and woke up at 8 o'clock this morning. Everything was fine, calibrated before my nightly shower, then got ready for bed after that. And I just calibrated this morning, and I still had a couple hours of last night's calibration available. No significant issues. I think the biggest thing for people, if you are getting woken up at night, check your blood sugar, or give the pump the data that it's asking, and be patient with it. If your sugar is within range, a couple nights or maybe a week or two of giving the pump that data that it needs should eliminate and let the pump get comfortable with, okay, your sugars are fine. If your sugar is high, the pump's going to alarm. That's what it's designed for. It doesn't want our sugars to be high. You as a user have to focus on lowering that before you go to bed, making sure that stays comfortable or lower. If your sugar is low when you go to bed and you see that it's rising, you need to look at the carb construction of whatever you're eating. It could be that your sugar is being maintained, but then once that insulin wears off, that carbohydrate is still working in your body, and it starts to raise your blood sugar after the fact. So just kind of look at that and see. It could be that you need to start try to eat a little bit earlier, and change the way you do your insulin delivery just a little bit, or I mean, that's the best advice that I can give you guys for that. I'm trying to talk to a large audience of people at once. So this kind of wraps up week 21. Like I said, I am documenting everything that goes along with this diet that I'm doing to kind of bring that back to you guys in a couple weeks after it's been going. So we'll see how things go. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments or shoot me a message on Facebook, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.